Ernest Pillay. The time right now, 12 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. Let's get into it. We're talking fashion in our Creative Africa feature. Now, in a heritage museum in Mafalala, one of Maputo's most storied neighborhoods, a new generation of Mozambican designers has begun the journey to the country's biggest celebration of fashion. I hope I pronounced this correctly. A Caminho do Fancy Africa 2026. Simply translated, it means on the road to fancy Africa. It really is a traveling series of workshops and masterclasses moving through the city's cultural landmarks. It got underway. It opened on the 9th of July and will run through September. Joining me on the line is Tilwene Cuna, Fancy Africa Fashion Forward Co-Ordinator. Tilwene, good morning to you. Welcome to Channel Africa.
Good morning. Hi, it's such a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
It really is a pleasure to have you on the program, and you're talking about a subject matter that I really appreciate. I mean, fashion is a beautiful thing, right? And one tends to imagine that most people will be into fashion as much as I would imagine you and I are, right? Take us through this wonderful and exciting series of showcasing Mozambican designers and taking them through the journey in the country's biggest celebration.
So, you did pronounce it correctly. It's A Caminho do Fancy Africa 2026,
Yep.
which basically just means on the road to fancy Africa. And this is a series of masterclasses and workshops that was introduced this year. Fancy Africa has already been in the market for 10 years. This is its 10th year celebration. So we decided to go big. Currently, it's a partnership between Fancy Africa and Uzuri Fashion Forward Incubator, which is a company that I'm a co-founder, and we are focused on training fashion creatives, not only technical skills, soft skills, as well as business skills and strategies. So we brought this series of classes because for us it's very important to rather than just give sorry, these people a platform to showcase their pieces or just a regular runway. It's much more important for us to give them the right skills and to teach them the proper way to, just be on the road to a fashion show. So what's really important besides clothes? What do you need to think about? So we brought these classes. We started off in the 9th of July with a fashion illustration and design. And just last week, on the 23rd of July, we had creative sewing and upcycling. Our next one is next week, Tuesday, for storytelling, for collections. And then we're going to have more on branding, digital fashion, business strategies and pricing, just also fashion management and value chain. So we're really just trying to bring here the whole fashion ecosystem rather than just looking at fashion as clothes. Because in the contrary from what most people think, fashion is not only about clothes. There's a whole lot that happens in the background, and it's important for us, for the creatives as well as other people who love fashion, to understand this vast world.
Absolutely. And I would like you to unpack a little bit as we continue with our conversation as to what other opportunities exist behind the scene, as it were. Now, most people, Tilwene, would imagine a fashion show is staged at a particular venue. That's how fashion shows are done globally. Why did you decide to take it on the road? Is it perhaps to ensure that young, upcoming designers have access to resources that they would otherwise not have? In other words, those who might not be able to come to a particular venue, you would rather come to them as well. Was that one of the main reasons why you took the show on the road?
Exactly, because for us, it's also important not only for the people in Mozambique. Mozambique has a really a virgin fashion market the people are still not understanding what it takes to actually have a fashion brand here. So, as we are based in Maputo, it's still important to us that people in other cities and provinces have the access to us. So, we created just like a hybrid system. And for the master classes specifically, people are allowed or can access these classes even if they are like outside the country or cannot come physically. We just open this space because it's really important to us as a country that is still developing. Opportunities like this are really scarce. So for us, it's really important again that people understand what fashion really is about, and we wanted to give them access to this just big and vast world. And also, you know, there's much more to fashion than just sitting behind a sewing machine. So for us, opening this or creating this series and also giving the chance of people from other countries and other cities to participate is really, really important to us.
Now, one of your other objectives as you take this show on the road is equipping young, up and coming designers a new way, or at least teaching them a new way in terms of reshaping the way Africa's emerging designers think about fashion, sustainability, and creativity. And there you teach them, or at least you offer in one of your master classes, upcycling. Please tell us more about this.
Um, I think all of us are aware that fashion is basically one of the, if not the top two or one even industry in the entire world that creates waste. Um, so even from just producing fabrics is there it comes of, like a lot of waste is produced. Um, Even our wardrobes have like enormous ways. So if you look, for example, at clothes that you don't wear or that you've been wearing for like once a year or twice a year, then that means it's basically waste in your wardrobe. So you yourself at your own house, in your own wardrobe, you're also producing waste. And then looking at stores, when they don't sell all the clothes there, and even after they do those outlets, we call them outlets, or the massive sales that we know, Black Fridays and everything, they still don't sell everything. So what happens is that they have to send these to other countries, and it's mostly African countries. So we think of that as it's an advantage for us, but in reality it really isn't, because at the end of the day, those clothes that come here, clothes, accessories, whatever, that they send aside is not necessarily an advantage for us. It's looked or it's seen to as waste as well. So a lot of waste is produced in fashion. And this masterclass for us was not about teaching people how to sew or how to work a sewing machine, but really what can you do with those pieces that you don't necessarily like anymore? What can you do with those pieces that don't fit you anymore? What can you do with those straps of fabric that are left when you're done sewing a dress or sewing a piece that your client requested? So everything can be used to make a new garment. You can renew the garments that you have. You can just make a whole wardrobe, new wardrobe, without necessarily buying clothes. So we are trying to bring this perspective, and also so that people understand that upcycling is not about taking garbage and turning it into something wearable. Upcycling can still be luxury. Upcycling can still be part of the high or designer fashion. That's what we call, right? Or luxury.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that people still need to understand and see to as what necessarily is upcycling. It's not waste. It's not taking garbage and turning it into something wearable, but it is upscaling what you already have. It's just giving a new face to your wardrobe, a new look to your wardrobe.
And a new term as well, upcycling. Taking the materials. One never thought of it that way. The materials you cut away from doing a garment or designing a garment, you can put that and create another garment. So interesting thought there to take a break and continue with our discussion. Tilwene, don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Ritmos e cultura. Com Jacob Tilwene. Ora, calorosas saudações, fiéis ouvintes do Ritmos e Cultura. Hoje celebramos não só a música, mas também a persistência, criatividade e paixão que continuam a inspirar gerações de músicos e ouvintes, não só em Moçambique, em África e no mundo lusófono. Ladies and gentlemen, senhoras e senhores, o conceituado Aniano Tamele Indio.
Caminho kuna tepu la kupima ilona kuva utasona swakunzi kuranza kanjeni bilwini kamina kuna gezi la kuva ningela ai
Ritmos e Cultura com Jacob Tilwene. Todos os domingos das 20 às 21 horas.
The story behind the story. Every weekday from 9 to 12 p.m. Central African Time. The Journal with Enes Pillay.
All right, welcome back. It's 24 minutes past 9 Central African Time. Please, by all means, if you'd like to drop us a voice note, please go ahead and join in on the conversation. WhatsApp line +27 83 288 6684. We're casting our focus in our Creative Africa feature on Mozambican fashion and young fashion designers who are looking to break through into this rather glamorous industry as well. But like any other industry, there are challenges to overcome, and the better equipped you are, the better your chances of making it. Tilwene Cuna is my guest on the line from Fancy Africa Fashion Forward Co-Ordinator. Tilwene, now beyond the glitz and the glamour and the catwalks and all of that, how do you ensure, or at least through your masterclasses, that would-be fashion designers can benefit long term out of joining into this industry and turning their creative talent into viable fashion enterprises, as it were?
So our masterclasses are given by specialists in the industry. We have designers from Mozambique like Alberto Correa, Isis Mbaga, and Amira Adam, she's actually a textile designer. We also have specialists from South Africa like Tando Daza. We have Mirvana Andres, which is a Brazilian also a designer, and she works with various factories and just retail as well, and AI for fashion. And we also have a Portuguese that's also coming in to teach us a bit about just value chain. So for us, it's really important that we give these people access to specialists and they're able to have, just like a one-on-one contact with these people. And also, as this is the On the Road series, we have the main event, which is happening in September. And the main week, we start with our summit. And in the summit, we're also bringing people from other countries just to have a discussion forum on what fashion really is about, talking about laws, intellectual properties, what can be implemented in Africa and in Mozambique that's going to help creatives, just stabilize their businesses. What do they need to know in terms of like what is necessary to export material to other countries? How can we just use our brands to just tell our narrative, our African narratives throughout the whole world and not from outside to Africa the way it's been happening? And how can we just, claim back our roots as Africans? So having specialists having people even from other sectors, because we're including, as I said, we're including the government, we're including the finance sector, banks, we're including designers, artists, we're including even people from the tech area. So just look at the different sectors inside the industry, and they're also going to have the chance to B2B session with these people, the people that are going to be at the panels, and investors, buyers. So we're literally just creating here a whole ecosystem so that people are able to learn from other perspectives, from other specialists, and just have a chance to, present their business to important people. And maybe, if God knows, our biggest aim here is to just expose Mozambique and also other countries to the big world that fashion is about.
And as you build up, like you rightfully said, you're building up to the big summit that's coming up in September as part of Fancy Africa Fashion the road trip, as it were. How would you rate Mozambican fashion? I mean, here in South Africa, we've got a thriving fashion industry. You know, we have the David Tlales, who from time to time will stages, the New York Fashion Week and so forth. How would you rate Mozambican fashion in as far as making inroads and at least catching the attention of fashion destinations like Milan and Paris and so forth?
The reason why I started bringing this educational perspective about fashion to Mozambique was mainly because I've been working in the fashion sector here in Mozambique ever since I was 13 years old. My first appearance at a runway, I was 13 years old. And then I started working alongside my mother. We have a brand together, which is Uzuri Atelier. And I went to study fashion in SA, Filioti Fashion Institute. And I also did have the chance to see with my own eyes what fashion is about in SA. And I was stunned. I was really just, I thought everything was marvelous. And my dream was to bring that perspective to Mozambique so that people can see that it's not just clothes, it's not just about owning a brand. So I believe we still have a lot of work to do as Mozambicans and as a country, and just as the fashion sector itself. The people here, the creatives here work very isolated to each other. So for me, it's mostly about knowing that, about teaching them and letting them see that if we're united, we can do this better than anyone else, or better than we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Because people really look at fashion as, oh, runway. It's not just runway. We need to work together. We need to do this together. And we need to move towards a similar purpose, So we still have a lot of work to do. I won't say we're bad, but it's initiatives like this that make me believe that we have a bright future, and I can see it. And if you can see it, it's because it's real.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're going to leave it there and look forward to the big summit coming up, the Fancy Africa Fashion Summit. I believe you have an awards ceremony there also infused into the whole celebration. So we wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty, there you go. Tilwene Cuna from Fancy Africa, Fancy Africa Fashion Forward Co-Ordinator, talking to us about a beautiful event that's currently underway. It got underway in July, will culminate into that Fancy Africa Fashion Summit in September. The time, 29 minutes to 10 Central African time. Time now for Channel Africa Sport with Figile Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good morning, Ernest. We begin with the football news. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has issued a statement confirming it received official correspondence from FIFA regarding the program which FIFA President Gianni Infantino put forward. CAF President Patrice Motsepe will chair a meeting of the CAF Executive Committee next week to, among other things, assess and evaluate the proposed FIFA Forward Enterprise Initiative. The African body also encouraged its members to study the proposal carefully and participate in active discussions about it. The initiative centers on selling a portion of FIFA's events commercial rights to private equity investors as a way to boost the world body's revenue. FIFA released a statement saying the program would inject more than $10 billion into football, with each member association expected to receive $40 million over the next 4 years. However, the proposal drew immediate criticism after it emerged that FIFA did not brief member associations ahead of the plan becoming public. And the World Football's governing body, FIFA, has opened a disciplinary proceedings against Argentina over potential breaches of multiple laws during the World Cup. The breaches include the use of discriminatory chants and gestures, team misconduct, security and protocol failures, and inappropriate messages being displayed, namely the banner that the players held saying the Falklands are Argentine following the 2-1 semi-final win over England. The banner is a potential breach of Article 13, Paragraph 2C, which states that a sporting event cannot be used for demonstrations of a non-sporting nature. Several players are also subject to disciplinary proceedings for the angry scenes at full time after Argentina lost the World Cup 1-0 to Spain. Leonardo Paredes, who grabbed and pushed Spain players, faces proceedings for 3 breaches of Article 14, Paragraph 1I of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. The newly appointed Egyptian football team Pyramids FC head coach Rulani Mokoena has revealed that the Egyptian team initially made contact with him while he was at Sundowns, and the two clubs went on to face off in the CAF Champions League group stages in 2023.
Even from the time we played each other in the Champions League, and preliminary discussions, engagements, just to get to know each other. And of course, when you understand the people who run this club and the people who lead this club, you then understand the level of investment in terms of research, because they don't just appoint anybody, but they analyze, they watch you for many seasons. And it was an honor that the interest was maintained. It means that along the way we've done a few things right, and the time for me felt right.
And finally, motor racing Formula One President Stefano Domenicali says the 2026 championship will end in Europe if the conflict in the Middle East makes it impossible to hold the season closing races in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa's young innovators are leading the AI revolution, creating localized language models and developing smart solutions for the continent's biggest challenges. Join Channel Africa webinar under the theme AI is here. Is Africa's broadcasting ready? Then, on Wednesday, the 12th of August, International Youth Day, come join us from 10 till 11 Central African Time. Connect with global leaders and digital pioneers shaping tomorrow. Book your seat now. Visit channelafricawebinar.com. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Let us hear your inner thoughts. WhatsApp us on +27 83 288 6684. The Channel.
All right, 24 minutes to 10 Central African Time. Time now for Channel Africa